If you're looking to buy an investment property in 2025, but you're struggling to find that needle in the haystack suburb or type of property that will either set yourself or you and your family up for life, then in this video, Simon and I are going to share 3 of our favorite investment ideas that we would personally look at in 2025.
So today we've got 3 really different examples or ideas to share with you. Now, depending on your stage of life, depending on your financial position, it will really dictate which one of these 3 options is going to suit you best. But let's say, Benny, that you're a first-time investor, you've got around $700,000 as a budget because that's what the mortgage broker has told you can buy for your investment property. What are some of the ideas? What are some of the best options in the country at the moment for that price point?
For me personally, the first thing that I like to do is look at the Australian economy or the Australian market as a whole and go, well, there's a whole bunch of capital cities, there's a whole bunch of major regional markets. Which one am I going to focus on? Now, for you and I at the moment, we both love Brisbane because of the 2032 Olympic Games and the incredible growth we saw leading up to those games in Sydney. Now, the other market we love at the moment, and is probably my personal preference, is Melbourne. And that's because in the last 30 years, according to Cotality, the average property in Melbourne is actually 60% cheaper than the average property in Sydney right now. If I had a 700K budget going into Melbourne at the moment, what I'd be looking for is a quality brick, tile, slab on ground home like this one that we just picked up for one of our clients, Gus, for just 701K. Now, as you can see, this beautiful 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car garage home is in beautiful condition and would rent for at least $550 per week. Not only is it close to the city with great infrastructure, universities, and some of the top schools in Melbourne around it, when you look on the map, it's not that far away from the beach, and it's also got the added benefit of Geelong being just down the road for the lifestyle on the weekends.
The added bonus of the property being quite new is there may be some depreciation benefits left in it as well, which is really nice to boost up that cash flow a little bit. But for me, I think this is just an incredible entry-level investment property for those who have a budget of around $700,000. Now, why I feel as though it's so great is because it's aligning with the fundamentals that have historically resulted in great long-term capital growth and some decent cash flow in the short term as well. We're buying the house on land, we're buying a good suburb, we're buying in a great, quiet, family-friendly street. You're not too far from the most populated capital city in Australia. You're not too far from one of the most beautiful lifestyle regions or regional towns in Australia as well. You're buying the statistically undervalued market, the statistically undervalued suburb, and you're buying in the market where there's more people moving to this area of the country than anywhere else right now. So it just ticks every single one of those fundamental boxes and should keep investors safe if they plan to hold it for 10 or 15 years plus.
But obviously not everyone is looking for a standard 4-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage home, although they have kicked ass in the past. And maybe some of you are thinking, well, is there some options in the country right now with a little bit of a twist? Like, what else can I do outside of just buying a property and holding it for longer term? What about cash flow? What about tax benefits? What are your sort of thoughts as a second idea about a really good starting point for people that have a little bit of a higher budget that want all?
Well, at the end of the day, like, cash is king, right? And in this environment with the higher cost of living, with the higher interest rates, it can be really expensive to hold investment properties. So implementing a strategy like we're about to discuss can be a great way to manufacture some cash flow and get access to better depreciation benefits. Now, we call this the dual income investment strategy. There is 3 ways to do this in the current market, based in either Queensland, more importantly Brisbane, or Victoria, more importantly Melbourne as well. So what we're searching for is a way to get 2 incomes from the one property. So the easiest way to do this in the current environment is to buy a great piece of land in a good location and then purpose build a massive dual income property on top of that. Now I'm talking 6 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, which just looks like a 4-bedroom house on one side and a 2-bedroom house on the other side that's separated by a firewall, and you're legally able to rent both of them out separately. Now obviously there's some requirements to build these dual income properties, and you just can't do it on any piece of land, so you have to consult a town planner or the local council to make sure that the piece of land that you're buying is going to be eligible for that type of build. But that can be a great way to do things in Brisbane and in Melbourne, where you're looking at a total project cost of somewhere between about $900,000 at the very bare minimum, up to about $1.1 million. And the expectation is to get around about that 5% yield, which is really difficult in the current environment, especially in a major metro market. And then building such a big brand new home is going to give you some kick-ass depreciation benefits as well.
Now, I've done this personal strategy at least 4 times over the last 10 years up here in Queensland. But another way to do it for those of you that don't like buying a piece of land and building something brand new would just be to go out there and find someone who's already done it, maybe 5 to 10 years ago, and buy what they're selling. Now, a client of ours, for example, Dave at the moment, bought one a little while back. His circumstances have changed. He's got a property close to the city of Brisbane in a great up and coming area with great infrastructure, universities, and all of those boxes that we like to tick. And it's a 3-bedroom home, or a 4-bedroom home on one side, sorry, with a 2-bed on the other side. Now, he said he'd be stoked if he could get 900 to 950K for it, which would unlock some of his money so he can do the next thing. Now, about once to twice in Brisbane a month, a type of property like this comes up, which is below $1 million, renting for $1,000 a week, and is a sort of set and forget dual income property.
Now, with the rise of people investing within their self-managed super funds, a lot of financial advisors are loving this style of asset because you're getting the better rental yield, but once again, you're still buying a good quality property. You're still buying the house on land in the major metro market. So this can be a really simple way to do things. It's just the stock is very limited.
The last way to do this type of idea, which is idea 2, which is a dual income investment property, is to go out there and buy a quality established home and then work with one of the granny flat builders in either Victoria or Queensland to actually construct a granny flat out the back. Now, I've also done this strategy myself. Again, it gave me great long-term capital growth when I bought it at the right time of the cycle in the right suburb. I got phenomenal cash flow as well. Even when interest rates went up to 7%, it didn't really affect me because it was still cash flow positive. And on top of that, with my accountant and my tax depreciation schedule, thanks to the Australian government, I was able to get some incredible tax benefits too.
Now, the third and final idea that we're going to share with you today is for those ballers out there that want to buy in a blue chip market, a blue chip suburb, surrounded by a massive portion of owner occupiers, where you've got great school districts, you've got amazing lifestyle factors, incredible infrastructure and amenities nearby, but obviously coming at a higher price point as well. Now, this blue chip strategy, because the prices are a bit more expensive and the rents are a little bit lower, there may be some negative gearing. So when we talk to high income earners, this is the type of strategy that they love. And let's have a really quick look at this property that recently sold for $1,060,000 on the southeast beaches of Brisbane. You know, a big 4x2x2, massive 700 square meter block of land. And I reckon I could literally throw a stone from this property into the water. It's like 5 or 6 rooftops away from the water. Incredible location, generating a rental return of somewhere between maybe $700 per week at the worst case scenario, up to even $800 per week in the best case scenario. So really, really high quality location. The fact that you can get so close to the water and you're just 30 kilometers from the 3rd largest capital city in Australia, in one of Australia's top performing markets at the moment, with insane capital growth expected between now and the 2032 Olympic Games. I'm interested to see where these properties can go. So regardless of which one of these 3 ideas you choose to invest in over the next 12 months, the reality is there's so many options in the Australian property market at the moment. So go talk to your mortgage broker, talk to your team of advisors, get things set up to see what options are going to suit you best, and then get stuck into finding your next investment property.
G'day guys, my name's Ben and I'm the director here at Pumped on Property, and I just want to say a massive thank you for watching our content today. Now, if you're thinking about buying an investment property in the next 3 to 12 months, then the team and I would love to offer you a one-on-one strategy session. In that session, we can talk about exactly where you are right now, where you'd like to be longer term, and we can deeply educate you on the Australian market. And then you can take that information and go and absolutely smash it on your own, or potentially become one of the small number of clients that we work with each week. To book your session, all you have to do is go to www.pumpedonproperty.com and click that book your free strategy session button. But either way, we wish you all the best on your journey as an investor to financial freedom.